The Cheating Death Podcast is a comedy, random, and truth-seeking podcast containing information, subject matter, language, and course material that might not be suitable for all listeners. Viewer discretion and listener discretion is advised. If you have any questions or concerns, email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we discuss Operation Silver, the precursor to Operation Gold, where Operation Gold, digging tunnels underneath Berlin proper, Operation Silver took place mostly in Vienna. We also provide you with an all-new Annihilation Announcement, a joke of the episode, and a lot more. So grab a coffee, grab your favorite warm blanket, put your feet up, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Over the course of this program, we have discussed in detail exactly what the confines of humanity and what the limitations of what our respective viewpoints on humanity and civility and empathy are. That does not matter anymore. There are so many different dynamic changes to everyone's life on a daily basis that it becomes almost impossible to identify what one must do next in order to ensure that calamity is not acquired. You, dear soul, are strong. You will find a way. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this was your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tage, eine gute Nacht. Ist deine Reisende und deine Ausländer und deine Allesfresser, deine Cleric of Chaos. And today's program, we're going to get into the Operation Silver, a beautifully broken system that was allowed to be put forth in the 1940s and 1950s. Operation Silver is a covert operation that still has a lot of benchmarks and traumatic memories to this day. Operation Silver, of course, being the precursor to Operation Gold, where tunnels were dug underneath Berlin in order to intercept communications of the Soviet Union. This was done as well within the confines of the Soviet Union to an extent. It is noted that there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of individuals in whom were being spied on in Austria, Vienna proper specifically, and in order to obtain, acquire, and to reverse, in some ways, shapes, or forms, Soviet communications so as to not only create confusion and intrigue, but as to also create division, as to lead the party breaking itself from within. The purpose of any surveillance campaign isn't necessarily just to monitor and to seek resources and or to seek exactly what needs to be done with respect to said country. No. The purpose of surveillance is to identify threats, opportunities, enemies, and potential hostages, civilians in whom may be in danger. Operation Silver was conducted at post-World War II, carried out by the Central Intelligence Agency, as well as numerous international conglomerates associated with the European Union, as well as within Austria proper itself. The whole point of the program was to spy on the Eastern Bloc and was to acquire information and to essentially ensure that the Allies would have no way of losing both the war and the subsequent aftermath of the reimagining, of the recreation of the country of Germany into two separate split piles, one being East Germany, or the German Democratic Republic, or West Germany, is being Standard Germany. The idea and notion behind splitting them up at the Berlin Wall and creating two completely different ideologies and two completely different ideas It was a realm of time to where people were able to understand and identify that everything that they were going through at the time wasn't necessarily that of their own doing or of their own making. The CIA operation known as Operation Silver was one of the most clandestine affairs throughout post-World War II and even to this day. When we take into consideration exactly what types of ramifications have been brought out, look no further than Operation Gold. If you would like to provide context, or if you would like to provide any sort of opinion to the affairs when you are caught in a legal scenario after being captured and taken hostage, it is immediately understood that you may not have that many options. So what you must do in that scenario is you must fight, you must survive, you must do what you can. Take into consideration where Operation Silver led people to the creation and to the implementation of Operation Gold, where, as mentioned, a tunnel was dug right underneath Berlin, so Soviet Union members, representatives, spies, and so on could be spied on, in the name of national security for the United States of America. Well, that is an absolutely astounding remark to make America, especially when taken into consideration that there are an absolute plethora of disasters and debacles that not only the CIA, but the military and everyone else has conducted with them. So when you think about your process, and when you think about how you complete a task, how you complete one of your tasks, dear listener, is significantly different night and day as to how Operation Silver and other clandestine affairs are carried out. That said, Operation Silver was a baby growing into an adult with Operation Gold. It is to be widely spread and believed among Austrians and among Germans that had Operation Silver not been commenced, there would more than likely, as of this point, still be a Soviet Union. So, we have learned a little bit about Operation Silver, the most covert operation up until that point with respect to surveillance. But it was about to get a lot worse. And that, dear listener, are things that we will explore in future programs. But for now, what is your viewpoint on Operation Silver? Contact us at the cheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. At the top of the program, we promised you a list of our top 5 favorite baseball caps, so let us dive right in. Coming in at number 5, we have the standard blue New Era New York Mets hat. Coming in at number 4, we have New Era fullback Chicago Cubs hat. Coming in at number 3, we have the ever so beautifully designed fullback New Era Seattle Mariners hat. Coming in at number 2, we have the good old-fashioned, the lovely, the ever so beautiful reminder of Comiskey Park. We have the Chicago White Sox home emblem hat. And at number 1, anyone and everyone's favorite, regardless of where you are, we have the standard New York Yankees fullback New Era cap, specifically in purple. What is your top 5? Email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. You know, hanging out in a room with no windows, no exits, no nothing is a little bit like a rock band from the 1970s without Jim Morrison. No doors. The very notion that the United States government, in conjunction with other federal and national authorities, are capable of spying on just about any citizen they want for the purposes of national security is insane. We have reached a point to where we are at a point of complacency with respect to the amount of surveillance that we experience. Operation Silver was only but the beginning of a clandestine operation that would be led through multiple stages, sequences, and evolutions. You will note that Operation Gold, an episode that we covered previously, that there were tunnels under Berlin. Many times you would be completely understood if you would be wondering to yourself how that could possibly be done without the adversaries being aware. There are quite a litany of documents relating to Operation Silver and Operation Gold that fully explain and identify exactly how and why. But it's up to you. Thanks for joining us today. Take care of yourselves and each other. The Cheating Death Podcast is brought to you by Nach dem Leben CRDVC, Chaos Realm Records, and CR Deutschland. We can be found on all major podcasting platforms. If you'd like to support the program, you may do so at the links in the episode's description. If you'd like to follow our friends of the program and consultants of the show, you may do so in the link in the description as well. If you are experiencing psychiatric duress, please call 1-800-273-8255 or dial 988 from your mobile phone. And if you're experiencing domestic violence, please call 1-800-799-7233. Remember, if you're looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center. And regardless of how hard life becomes, remember, you are one of the strongest organisms on the planet. You can and you will succeed. Remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.